This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.
Definitely some
I was telling you
experience.
that earlier.
I got refunds on a 2001 Mitsubishi Diamante. I need a refund on.
Hold on. Stay on that because there's
these refunds I'm asking for are all my fault because it was just me
ended
being
up buying a lemon.
young and dumb. Bro, you
What
want to
happened?
talk about a limon?
son. All right, look. So I bought a, what was it, a 97? I think that was the year it was. Mitsubishi Eclipse. They only got, what, 2 of those shits?
Yeah,
Not the newest looking one that looks like...
the Paul
You
Walker
talking about
John, the green
the
John.
little girl sports car?
Look,
green
man,
John.
I bought that shit.
What was you doing?
Listen.
Kev, what was you thinking, man?
All I've had at that
going
point in
through a
time...
phase.
I was. All I've
through a
had at
phase.
that point in time was pretty much hoopties. All hoopties. All hoopties until the car I got now. Well, actually, until out of court. This one, I'm like, you know what? I want a car that look kind of cool. Like, you know, I got a couple of dollars in my pocket now. Like, let me get something that look all right.
You go get a two-door
And-
Mitsubishi.
And it was stick shift. I'm like, I'm about to do wild stuff.
You was never gonna pick
Can't
me
do
up.
wild stuff. Nah, hell no.
And
Nah.
that
I would have had to
little ass,
fucking bungee cord you to the roof.
Yeah. My boy's Maserati is tight now.
Look, I'm
That shit
6.
got
I'm
small.
6 feet tall. I'm not supposed to have this car. Period. This Eclipse. That shit was already snug, but it was all black inside.
That shit
Tin-
probably look
He was like
like
this.
he was in a stoli.
Yo, you
Probably
couldn't
look like he
tell.
was in a stoli, bro.
The shit was tinted out. You can't see none of it. So this is the
Mario
first.
Kart and Luigi.
This the first car I got tents on. This the first car. I think that shit had a little moonroof, sunroof thing on it. I got. I'm low to the earth. I got the stick shift. I'm like, I'm about to move this shit.
Fall time.
Move this shit. That shit drove for all of about a week. All a week.
Got
And
him.
then- and then
Where'd you
what?
buy it from?
Craigslist.
Did they say what
Got
happened?
him.
Did they say what happened with it or not?
Nah. Oh, do I know what
Do you know
happened
what,
with it?
what was wrong?
There was mad shit wrong with
Oh
it.
wow.
The fucking, it was a stick shift. The fucking transmission was fucked up.
Oh, God.
Radiator
Clutch.
was cracked. And it was just summer when I bought that shit too.
Good lord.
But you didn't see this when you was buying it?
Nigga, I ain't give a fuck. I'm like, yo, let me get this shit. You know how it is. When you selling the car, you get your shit right for the
get
showing
excited.
of that day.
You get excited. yeah.
You got all this shit. You done got all the.
They put fix a flat on all the
You
tires.
got all the emergencies, the cautions, whatever, warnings off
painting
your
the tires.
dashboard off. You fucking probably changed a little bit on the mileage, got the tires pumped. Shit is perfect just for that time when
day.
you're showing that
Yeah.
car.
It's for them 30 minutes that this guy is here
You gotta
looking
bring a
at this
mechanic
shit.
with you next time.
Got that shit. I mean, I learned my
We
lesson
buy
from
new.
it.
That was a long time ago.
I'm gonna give
This
you
is like 09.
Yeah,
I'm
it was a
gonna
long
give
time
you
ago. We
the-
buy new.
illest lesson. You buy new.
No,
Y'all
we-
buy new.
no,
I buy
you-
Yo,
used.
buy
got-
new.
I buy
If
used.
you
gotta-
can
you
buy
gotta-
new,
It's a separate thing, bro.
I buy used.
unless
I
it's like
bought-
a 429
Yeah, but they're
boss.
shoving.
I got you. I'm gonna hit you with a double whammy right now. This is how like
Mitsubishi
small
Diamante.
this world is, right? 2000, I want to say like 10, 11, right? My dad's we going through the paper, right? And I see it's this spot in Linden. It's a tow yard in Linden, and they're doing a vehicle auction to make space for all the vehicles that people just didn't claim or
You just
whatever,
got
right?
sucked in. Off the
So my
drive,
dad
bro.
is like this, like he's pointing at it, he's like, yo, check that out, right? So we had done this before. We've been to police auctions, cop the car here, flip it, or listen, I bought a $500 car, right? I sold it to my boy's girl for $750. She rode that car for 3 years, no problem. Bullshit ass Dodge Neon, bro. I was so upset when I sold her that car.
Those are the cars
Damn,
that
yo,
last.
I could have been in that shit for 3 years for $500 or whatever. Anyway, so we get to the lot. They got a whole bunch of just bullshit. Behind all the bullshit is 2 cars. It's a Mitsubishi Diamante in slime green, and it's a
What?
fucking
Slime.
green,
Slime.
bro.
You sure it's
This
slime?
is the one
Slime,
you bought.
big body, but this
Yeah.
shit fucking look like a S500 just made in
The
Japan, right?
Nickelodeon slime.
Yeah, word. Behind that is a 2002 Mercedes-Benz CLK convertible. It's like this color blue, purple with the matching top, and the interior is like a dark blue. CLK
Stay away.
55 AMG, big body.
Should have been a sign that says stay
I'm
away.
like, should have been a fucking sign that says "Stay away,
Yeah,
bro."
yeah.
My dad gives it a look. He's like, he did me dirty too, yo, because he was. I could tell it was on some shit like,
He's trying to teach you something.
yeah, like you gonna have to learn your
He's
lesson,
trying
right?
to teach you something. Yeah.
So
One of those.
check this out, right? So I told the guy, I'm like, how much for the Benz? He's like, you don't want the Benz. I was like,
He told you he wanted
I want the fucking Benz, bro.
Yeah, you
he's
leaving
like,
with
look,
the Benz.
he's like, look, give me $1,000. I'm like, what's wrong with it? He's like, look, the rats done chewed through the ECU.
Bro,
Bro,
you know now.
motherfuckers was living in that
You
shit.
know
And
now.
he told me straight up, motherfuckers was living there. In my head, I'm like, it's 2000. We 9 years. The car was made 10 years
that
ago.
long ago.
It's gonna, but I'm saying the parts is gonna be cheaper now than if let's say it was 2-3 years
Be
old.
harder
So
to
in my
get
head,
them,
I'm
though.
like, even if I put like 7-8 grand into this, I'm
Not
up.
worth it. It's not.
I don't know how many miles is on the car because the car don't start. And when he towed the car, he didn't know how many miles on it, right? So I'm looking at the Mitsubishi. So I'm like, all right, throw me in a package deal with this Mitsubishi and this car. Man says, you don't want the Mitsubishi. I said, I want to give you my money, bro. I don't
I need
need
this
this
car
shit.
with
Please
that
just
car.
take this shit. I
Please
just
tell
need
me.
something.
Please tell me you left with 2 cars.
My dad's in the background like, whatever. Get both cars, $1,800. Right.
For
This is-
both cars?
For both cars. Should have known something was up right there. This is where the headache begins.
Yeah, I can't believe.
And I
this story,
should have
bro.
asked for my refund right then and there. It's called buyer's remorse, in case you don't know.
I
So you
can't
buy some shit,
believe this story.
and it's like, fucking fuck, I should have never bought this. Man charged me $200 to have the Benz towed. Because it don't start. You just bought this car, you got to get it off my property.
How far was the tow?
A Roselle. Went from Linden to Roselle, about 2 miles.
Jesus Christ, for
$200?
The car don't start.
So
It's,
what?
it's slammed to
$200?
the ground. So he's got to come with jacks,
crank?
jack it up, crank it, sit it on blocks, slide it. I don't even got a mechanic lined up
Bro.
to take this car. I'm doing shit. I'm on a
You win-
whim,
yeah, you
my
win.
nigga.
You win.
I'm flying.
You
Yo,
farting the wind
I'm
right here.
holding the fucking
This is
seat and I'm
insane.
fucking flying. like I'm just gripping and ripping. Man's charges me $200,
I
right?
jumped out
the
the window.
Diamante starts up, no problem. Try the Diamante off. Drop the bins at the thing. Maybe about a week in the ownership of the Diamante, I'm like, yeah, this is the John right here. This is the fucking John. I go
The
in
slime green
slime
Diamante.
green Diamante
I like the
with,
slime
with
green.
beige interior, and the moonroof fucking worked, right? Week in the ownership, I'm like, yo, this is the John. I'm gonna go put a system in it. Get the touchscreen fucking radio, put 212s in the trunk.
Before you did any
slam.
mechanic work.
Before I did the fucking oil change, before I went and got the shit
Plugs.
re-inspected,
Oh,
which,
yeah.
by the way, if you're buying a car and the inspection sticker ain't up to date, that means something may be wrong with that motherfucker.
Yes.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I
duh.
go take this fucking car, get a system in it, spend like $500-$600 for the system. Shit booming. Leave the system.
In your driveway.
Come back because they forgot to install something. Come back because they forgot to install something, right? Guys like, yo, the whole interior smells like gas. In my head, I'm like, I don't smell shit, nigga. I'm rocking. I'm fucking like this in a whip. I got my system. I'm in the big, but I don't give a fuck. He's like, yeah, one of your gas lines is like clipped. I'm
Oh
like,
my
so in my
God.
head, I'm like,
The
damn,
rats
that's
ate
why.
through that shit.
That's why it takes me like a day to fill up. I'm going through gas like every fucking. I'm thinking I'm just in a big body. I'm thinking like this is it, right?
Like you on diesel in the
Like a-
fucking Diamante.
You should have blew up on you.
So I fucking go.
Yeah, that's a movie shit.
I
You
put
leave
that
a train,
shit-
a trail of
Liam Neeson.
gasoline.
I put that shit right on Craigslist. I had this car, bro, for all of 2 weeks. I done registered it, insured it, put a system in this car, all that shit. The day before I put it on Craigslist, it starts raining. I got a leak in the windshield. That shit come down to the floor. So as this shit is happening, I'm on Craigslist, keeping it 100. Like, yo, it got a gas leak. I don't know where it's at. Whoop-de-whoop. This kid, bro, he had to be 2 years younger than me. Comes up to me and he's like, yo, I want to buy that. And I'm like, bro, this ain't for you. I'm like, yo, don't do it, my G. Like, this is for somebody who knows what
Trying
the
to
fuck
pass
they
You
on
should
do.
have
that,
got it off your hands.
Bro,
The info.
Yeah.
I want to buy the car. I want the car.
It's you.
He's got the whole vision.
you.
Yo, I'm going to tint this shit out. I'm going to put this color rim on it. Be in the Diamante cruising. Man, buys the whip. I think I charged him like a stack. So I'm up 200, but with the system and everything, I'm still down like $600. This man's calling me 2 days later. Yo, was the transmission slipping when you had it?
Oh my god, bro.
I swear to God, it wasn't.
my God.
It wasn't. That
Should
John
have
drove
switched up
fine.
languages on him. Like, come on.
¿Cómo estás, huh? When I was driving it, car was completely fine. Like, it was cool. This man's caught it, and at that point, the transmission was like, I'm good. I'm done.
Yeah.
Caught him, and
Hey, look, this is his
he put
lesson
like
now.
$2,000 into that shit.
Find him so he can get on
Oh
here and be
my
like, "I'll
God.
learn my lesson.
That's
I'll
wild.
never do that."
Don't
again.
forget, I still got the Benz. So we go back to that story, still within the same story. The Benz is at a mechanic now. My dad's got a mechanic, right? He's like, yo, the whole front end is like rusted and destroyed.
Yeah,
Yo, there's
that's what
no
happens
engine
on
in this motherfucker.
Them shit
He's like,
works,
yo,
man.
you need like a whole. He's like, yo, I'm not
You need
even
a whole new
joking.
body.
A whole new front end, shock struts, springs, sway bars, all hydraulic pumps, all that shit. Right? He's like, you definitely need tires. You definitely need an ECU. Obviously the normal stuff. You need a
new
battery.
ECU?
Because the rats chew through the shit, right? In my head, I'm like, yo, if this
What
comes
are
out
they
to like
eating
$5,
out
$6
here?
grand, I'm cool, right? By the way, we don't got a key for the car, so we can't get the car
Oh
started,
my God! You
right?
driving out here with a flathead?
What was you thinking?
What was I thinking? Oh my God, we need a segment called "What the fuck were you
Oh
thinking?"
my God!
I have the car towed to Benz, cause they gotta have the car on premise to make sure you're the owner of the vehicle.
Yeah.
So they can
Please
check
tell me
the-
how much they
the
told
VIN
you
number.
it was gonna cost.
The,
No
the
Benz.
tow was $150.
I want to know what the
Benz wanted
mechanic said.
$450.
For
Right, $450 to make the key for that car. Bro, at this point I had like 10 cents left in my name.
Oh shit!
Had the car towed back, $150, because the car don't start. Right, so I'm like, oh my God, what's
Yeah, you
what are we
hemorrhaging
gonna
money
do?
at this point.
What are we gonna do, bro? I don't know what the fucking story was. My dad was at the fucking chicken shack. Happened to just bring this car up in conversation, probably talking shit about me, how my fucking idiot son went and bought some shitty
He
shit.
bought
again.
two cars, not one, two.
The fucking guy he was talking to was the motherfucker who owned the Benz.
No.
He had the key
No
at the
way.
crib.
What
My-
kind of
my dad-
coincidence is that? There's no
What are you
such thing as
talking about?
coincidence.
My dad gives this man
What are the
50
odds,
bucks.
though?
He gives us the key, and he's just like, yo, I had the car. I own the car. It had got towed. I lost the fucking title and the paperwork. I never got it, and I said, fucking, and just left it there.
You made
so
this
I'm like,
shit
all
up.
right, now I could see, I could put a person to the car. So I'm like, all right, now it's worth it. Now I could see the person. You obviously you cared about it. Something happened with the paperwork. He said, "Yo, like I moved to New York at the time. It's too much back and forth. I guess for what he paid for it, he was like, fuck it, they could have the car, whatever." I'm like, all right, now I'm really investing in this shit. Get the key, get the car started. We got 320,000 miles on it.
Oh my God.
How?
In 9 years?
How? Yeah.
No, when I
How old-
bought it, it was 9. It was a 01, and I bought it in 2011,
It
12.
was 20 years.
So it was 10.
No, my bad, 10 years.
10 years. Had 320,000 miles on it. But the
Nigga.
outside was clean, my nigga. The color, beautiful. The top matched the body, beautiful.
They drove that car every day.
They
Even
must have drove
they
down
drove
to
it every
Florida
day.
every month or some
Yeah.
shit. Right? So in my head, I'm like,
100,000
geez.
a year.
At
You
that
live in
point,
Jersey, you work
Not
in
a year,
Florida.
I mean,
I'm driving there every day.
at that
10
point, the guy,
years. That's like more. That's like 50.
3
that's
times as much.
32,000 miles a year.
32, yeah.
32. So you're probably doing something like 2,000.
Normally you put like
2,500
15
miles a
year?
month.
20?
So that's literally
15,
driving
20?
down to Florida and back once a month for 10 years. Anyway,
God, good God.
so start the car up. This shit got wild mileage, man. It's like, look, your transmission is slipping. You need a new diff. We ain't even get to rims, tires, fucking piston rods, this, that, and the third. So I'm like, holy shit, I'm done. Put this shit on
She's
Craigslist.
literally bringing that shit back to life.
Shout out to All Eyes on Me, Shalik, the barber. He ends up buying a whip from me.
Oh, God.
He gives me $1,500. He sees it and is like, Shalik is like a playalistic dude. So he old school Cadillac trucks on big rims. He shit like that. So he seen the shit. Yeah, that's me. Took the car, right? Maybe 2 years ago, right over here around the corner on next to the Wendy's and shit, I see that car up for sale in front of the shit.
No.
Wow.
In my head, I'm like,
He went through the same shit. Like,
I'm gonna buy it.
this.
In my head, I'm like, I'm gonna buy it. I call him up.
Yo, I'm disappointed
I
today.
call him up. It's done now. Like, he,
It's
I know
2
this was
years
a long
later.
time ago, but good Lord, Lord.
peep.
what
So
the-
in my head, I'm like, I'm gonna buy the car. Now it's a story.
I'm
now
getting-
I got
I'm getting
some
anxiety
that
just
loop
listening
back
to
to
this.
me to stand the third, right? He was like, yeah, I want $5,000. He's like, come see the car. I can't go see the car because then he's gonna see it's me, try to charge me more or something. Be like, I bought
They
this
don't
shit
know
from
your
you.
voice.
Nah, right? So I had somebody else go for me. This man spent $15,000 putting that car back together. He gave it the whole new front end. He gave it all new ECU, tune up, lower block. He did the brakes, everything on the car. He cleaned up the rust. He had half of it repainted. He put a new top because it was leaking. He spent 15
brought it
bands
back.
on his car. I think he went through like a divorce or some shit and was trying to get it off. He was like, yo, 5. I told him 2. He was like, I think about it. I called him back a week later. He's like, nah, I need at least 5. And that was the story. That was it.
You spent 15 bands.
So
just to
me wanting my money back gives
drive
y'all
the
a story
thing.
like that about how fucking I ain't get a god.
This call may be monitored and recorded for quality assurance.